On this ordinary plains biome island, where the once peaceful passive mobs have become dangerous killers, and the hostile mobs are all equipped with new and varied ways of killing you, one man alone must struggle to survive. The Linkzilla must navigate the perils of impossible Minecraft, a new datapack designed to turn the whole Minecraft world against you. Simple game mechanics once taken for granted are now deadly traps, and all living things in the world are trying to kill you at any given moment, all in an attempt to make the game impossible. As if it couldn't be worse, this is Crystal Spine, a deadly three-headed ender dragon that guards the end of the game. Success means reaching and killing him. This dragon is equipped with all new game mechanics and a various range of attacks, all in an effort to keep the player from winning at all costs. But despite the added difficulty, the dragon is not invincible. Given the right equipment and a player mad enough to try, it can be killed. To survive, Linkzilla must learn the various hazards hidden in the game. While the odds are stacked against him, he will learn and adjust to navigate to the trials of the game ahead. But is he skilled enough to survive, to reach the end and kill Crystal Spine, all within just 100 days? And how can he even begin in a Minecraft world where the most basest essentials of the game are literally designed to kill you? It seems impossible. Find out here in the ongoing chapters of Impossible Minecraft. Hey guys, you ever have those moments where you get a really bad idea? One of the worst ideas I've ever had was thinking that I would one day be good enough to join Hermitcraft, but this idea probably tops even worse than that. If you guys saw by the intro, I am now playing the Impossible Minecraft Datapack created by the mad McMakistein. Basically, Grian and a bunch of the other hermits, an entire series of trying to beat Impossible Minecraft with all the various little add-ons that McMakistein has added to the game. And I basically thought that I could give it a try myself. And what you guys just saw is the first of many rather sadistic additions made by this data pack. I literally couldn't have spawned in a worse location because I had 3 cows coming at me. As you basically saw from this message, hope you're thirsty for milk. Yeah, the cows literally reared up on their hind legs and started shooting milk bullets at me. Yeah, this is going to be difficult. I am basically going to try my best to be able to play all the way through Minecraft and hopefully beat the Ender Dragon within 100 days. Yep, that's what the intro says. Now, this is going to be so difficult because watch what happens when even the most essential Minecraft functions that you've taken for granted over the years becomes. Right now I'm digging myself a hole underneath this tree. Why? Because when you go to punch wood... Yep, you saw that right. The tree literally strips itself bare of all of its bark and fires its bark as bullets in all 4 cardinal directions. Basically, the simplest act of getting the base materials in this game can become quite hazardous. Oops, I did not mean to make 4 crafting tables there. Dang it. Now I gotta find another tree. Alright, stay by the pumpkins. Pumpkins are safe. Pumpkins are safe. Alright, now you guys are basically going to see why crafting tables are dangerous. I'm going to convert all this wood into planks real quick. Then I'm going to convert most of it into sticks. And now I'm going to try and build something. See, I'm going to need a pickaxe and an axe. Up. I wasn't fast enough. Yep. My first death, and I was killed by a crafting table. Uh-oh. No. I've got to do something about those cows. They're literally right on top of my spawn area. I'll talk about that in a moment. Usually, basically encasing this thing with blocks all around it is how you neutralize the cannon. It's not the saws that you need to worry about, it's the cannon. Right, I also need a wooden axe. Now, you guys basically saw that on my first death, I had a grave. Well, that's because I basically feel like with how much this data pack is designed to torture the players, and just the way that I am with playing Minecraft, I've basically taken a liberty of adding myself a few quality of life options that at least give me a fighting chance in this world. Case in point, one of my first goals of my first day is to make a campfire, as many as I could. But as you guys basically saw, whenever you basically touch a tree, all of the oak logs, all the logs in the tree immediately strip themselves. However, with the lumberjack data pack, you can get around that. Only the one that you chop down strips itself, while the others drop the bare necessities. Alright, so I'm gonna need to get as many logs as I can. Alright. Basically, I have some goals for the first few days of this Minecraft adventure. Like I said, goal number 1 is to get a campfire, because that's going to be the quickest and easiest way that not only am I going to be able to get a light source, but also how I'm going to be able to cook food. Because believe me, you don't want to take your chances with a furnace. You guys will see why. And now, in a plains biome, you might think that you're safe, that this is the most convenient biome to spawn in because it's wide open and there are plenty of passive mobs that you can basically get resources from. Nope, not in this world. You guys basically saw that as soon as I spawned in, those cows wanted to kill me. Ironically, the pigs and the sheep and even the chickens are just as bad. This is the spot. This is the spot where I'm gonna make my claim. So, alright, so in addition to getting campfires, I also need to find a village. Not to basically take over the village, but to basically get a bed. I'm basically going to want to get a bed as soon as possible, because I can't just go around killing sheep in order to get it. So, another very early goal that I have for the game is to get sea turtle eggs. I won't be able to do anything with them until I get a Silk Touch pickaxe, but I feel like if I can basically make the effort to get sea turtle eggs, that will basically be helpful. So I'm basically gonna pretty much give you guys pretty much a commentary rundown of how my first few days in this adventure pack is going. Hey guys, Dumbzilla here. So I was planning to feature game footage with recapping narration. The problem was, I once again mixed up the mute microphone button with the pause recording button, so all of that footage is lost. Okay, one of my first goals is to find a village, and hopefully, I think that there's a village in this direction. If I can get there within enough time, hopefully I should be able to get there by nightfall so that I can immediately begin, well, the next phase of my plan. Try not to get too close to the sheep. Good lord. It's like trying to navigate the world's fluffiest minefield. What do the sheep do? Well, you guys are going to find out eventually. But fortunately, horses seem pretty chill. Basically, from what I've seen of the series that the Hermits did, McMakistein didn't do anything to the horses. I can't go in the water, but I don't have enough... Ah! Yep, you guys saw that. McMakistein added sharks. Awesome. Yeah, I could basically use stepping stones. Chicken. Go away. Go away, chickie. Yes. I managed to get away without setting off the chicken. If you guys... You guys basically don't want to see what happens when a chicken gets set off. Alright. The sun is about to start going down, so... As long as there's no hostile mobs in the way... Oh! Forgot about the vanilla ones. You gotta be careful about going into the village in this during the day in this data pack. But, right now, I'm a bit desperate. It's a good thing crafting tables are so cheap. Let's get rid of all the materials that I can use to build with so that I can do this quickly. Oh, come on. How the fuck did that hit me? Okay, there are villagers. I don't think there's anyone in this one because I'm pretty sure this is basically like... Yep, just a brewing stand. This is where the cleric lives. Gotta keep my distance from the pigs. Looks like the villagers have entered the Industrial Revolution. Yep, because basically McMakistein, the psychopath that he is, he decided to make the villagers hostile towards you. Basically, whenever they see you, it's literally on sight. They will literally run you down and kill you. He's given them a speed boost, too. Okay, is this good? Yes! I probably can't risk getting back there during the day, so... Wait, during night, so... Okay, I've managed to steal some food, and I've stolen a bed. So... I'll have to come back to this village. I am gonna have business with it, because... Nitwit, what are you doing? Stepping stones. At this point, every single... It's raining. I don't know what happens when it rains. I haven't touched a boat, I swear. McMakistein? Ah! Yep, you see that. Whenever you get too close to a chicken... It literally launches its head off its shoulders and turns it into a missile that locks onto you and chases you down. The only good thing about it is that if you can avoid the little firework rocket that its head becomes, the chicken actually drops its body and its feathers, which I'm going to need. Somehow I've got to implement this into some kind of self-regulating chicken farm to where... Basically, like, I'll pretty much put a roof on it. I'll let the chickens see me, and then they'll just pop their own heads off, and I can basically harvest their chicken and their feathers. But I gotta get back to my base, or at least what I'm calling my base. Might as well take down this tree too. Okay, so that's day 1, and that's one of my major goals already met. Because I've got a bed, and that's basically gonna make this game a little bit more tolerable, because, yeah, just put that there. Oh, that's a bat. Oh, bat. Bat. This was actually one of the late additions that he made to the series, what bats do, so I'm going to try to avoid that bat as best I can as I try to work my way back home. How ironic that I end up spawning on an island and the only land bridge out of there is in the opposite direction. Okay, bird. This can go one of two ways. God, I wish I had a shield already, but I need iron. Maybe if I can get to it quickly enough? Why do you have to be right there in front of my stepping stones? It didn't have to be this way. You could have lived. Oh no! Come on. Come back. Come a little bit closer. I like salmon. I am really risking a lot just by doing this, trying to stay close to the shore and snipe these salmon with crits, but it's what I'm going to have to do, because even when you're basically get out of the water, you're still not safe from sharks. Friggin' woolly bullies. The most important thing is that I at least have a bed that I can basically put down as quickly as possible if in the event that I'm going to get killed, because... Oh, no, not the sharks, please! Because in the event that I do get killed, I can basically immediately respawn, and I can immediately recover my stuff. To think that there's so many damn sheep here, so you'd think that getting wool would be easy, but it's not. Right. I made it back. I made it back alive. Haha. Right, so I've got a bed and I've got a respawn point, so hopefully, and I've got some food. Now I can start working on my secondary goal, get myself a few campfires. Now this is something cool that you can do with furnaces. If I can line them up just right. Yep, the furnaces now give off intense heat, meaning that if I basically step one block closer, that's going to set me on fire. However, I'm implementing this as a new mining method, because basically like out the mouth of the furnace in that direction, yep, it spouts flames. So I've now got 4 pieces of charcoal. Take out the furnaces. Huh. Okay, 1 tunnel has been dug. I don't know why the I guess maybe because there wasn't a block in front of it. It's not exactly the most efficient means, but it works for what I need. Okay, I've got at least 3. I'm going to set 2 of them outside, and I'm going to basically keep 1 in my inventory, because you never know when you're going to need some quick food. And the way that creepers are is that these things can be easily destroyed, and I don't have any silk touch, meaning that I can't pick them back up again. Wonder how well Impossible would work with the Farmer's Delight mod. Because there's a whole lot of food that I could basically explore with that. Okay, so my first significant breakthrough so far is that I've managed to find some raw iron. As you can see, I basically blocked in all the spaces around the iron. What you do with this data pack when you find raw iron is you can't just mine this and pick it up and get the raw iron. No, if you're lucky to find raw iron hanging over your head like this, what you need to do immediately is dig yourself a 2-block hole down beneath. Why? Check this out. Yep, you're seeing that right. That right there is a baby iron golem. Now, basically, this little guy is made up of the raw iron that I'm supposed to get from mining these things. And it's just like McMakistein says, if I want that iron, I gotta kill this guy. And he's not gonna make it easy for me. Hence the hole. Don't go thinking that this is a quick way to get yourself a completely infinite army of little baby iron golems. These things ain't your friend. They are hostile towards you. They are literally just reskinned baby zombies with an iron golem, not just iron golem aesthetic, but also range of attacks as well as hit points. So, if I really want this iron, I've got no other choice. Can't believe that that's my first monster hunter. So, I got him, and I got his brother. And over here, I finally found some legitimate coal that I don't need to convert into from logs. So, there's also something else that happens when it comes to coal that I also want you guys to see. I'll demonstrate it a bit more like once I'm in a more controlled environment, so I'm just going to try not to waste the coal that I get. So, as you guys see, a little timer goes off whenever a piece of coal drops, so you're going to want to pick that up as quickly as you can. I'll show you guys what it does when I'm down to the last piece of coal. It's ironic, on the hardcore world that you guys have never seen, I've actually managed to make myself a wither skeleton farm, and, well, basically the idea of mining for coal, it's something that I've pretty much forgotten about. Right, so, down to the last piece of coal, check this out. What the... Gang, that wasn't supposed to happen. I was not expecting that. I mean, holy shit. The coal, it was supposed to just explode on its own. And the whole idea of dropped coal is that it's supposed to set off a chain reaction. The small explosion breaks other pieces of coal around it, and it just keeps going on until the entire vein blows up. But that... Holy shit. Dropped coal has the chance of turning into a creeper. And believe me, you guys don't want to with creepers in this data pack. That honestly should have killed me. The creeper must have suffocated in the wall. I'm fairly alarmed here. Food. Glorious food. Now, eventually, I am going to have to go after those cows, because despite everything that you guys have seen, Cows are probably the easiest mob that I can basically get my hands on, and probably the most profitable. Well, not exactly the easiest, because sheep are technically easier if you can survive your first encounter with them, but when it comes down to it, the cows are probably going to serve better because of the fact that they can give leather, and leather is a resource. God, it feels so good to just sleep the nights away and not have to deal with hostile mobs. I should go for the one that's on the outer rim, because circle strafing around can be a bit difficult. Oh, really? Don't want to risk triggering that sheep. That's too close. What the hell? Yep, that's what sheep do. Ah, damn it. So, cows basically shoot bullet hell milk bullets at you, and sheep, they literally spontaneously combust, shooting their wool all over the place. And where the hell did... But... ah, shit, that's the sheep. It just reloaded. And the fact that there's a forest fire over there lets me know that something very dangerous is in that direction. God. There's really no workaround for some of these things. What I want to know is, what did I do to earn all this hostility? I just wish that you could collect leather just as fast, and... well... there are a lot of horses around. I haven't really explored in this direction, so... let's go see what's up. Dang it. Looks like I have no choice, but I have to bridge. Huh. I guess I really was on on an island. Oh, shoot. Well, there's another village over there. In fact, that village is actually closer than the one that I just... have I ever mentioned how hard it is being me? Anyway, I'm circle strafing around the sheep, and I'm giving that lava pit a very large berth. Believe me, guys, you want to see what happens when you get too close to a lava pit. Great pigs. Sup, boys? Don't mind me. Just passing through. They have an iron golem. Now, what I know about how killagers work is that the iron golem probably isn't going to last long, so I could easily get 3 pieces of iron from him. And, ooh, there are turtles in this village. I could use that. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this village is now my new base of operations. Another blast furnace. I don't know what they do, because I don't think the hermits ever use blast furnaces. And that's something that's very, very alarming. The fact that I don't know what something is going to do playing this data pack. Cauldrons. Good. Now I don't have to waste iron making them. Leather armor. Yes. Now all I have to do is make a chest plate and... Look away, kids. I'm just glad that horses and turtles are so chill. Ooh, fence posts. That reminds me, basically like with fences, it's a good thing to have, because if you can get cows inside fences, the fences are high enough to where they'll block the milk bullets. Jelly. Wait, is that 2 jellies at once? Huh. What are the odds of that? Oh no! Run! Run, boys, run! They are relentless. I don't know how far you have to go to make them stop chasing you. Like I said, the only good thing about this is the fact that since villagers chase you, you basically can get them in places. But if that villager doesn't get killed... Oh no, somebody set off a chicken. I'm pretty sure that was like only one of 2 villagers that were actually in that village. The other one I saw was a cleric. Which is a bad thing. If that's like the only... If those 2 are the only villagers that I've got in this village, then it's going to put a cramp on my plans. And man, where did that friggin' iron golem go? There it is. I think there are 2 of them in there. Trap them in. Yes! We got 2. Now I just gotta find a house with an unoccupied bed. Hey, Jetty. Okay, time to go. What the hell was that? Oh man, I just realized that I don't think the hermits ever encountered phantoms. So I have no idea what phantoms do. Well, looks like I'm stuck in this village for the night. Okay, I took a brief break from recording a little bit, and well, I was setting things up, and a few things happened during the night. As you can see, I've got myself some iron and some string and some pork chop. I'll basically explain where they came from, starting with the string. You see, basically, as I was up here, well, the thing about it is, the hostile mobs still lock onto me, and it's apparent that, well, spiders really don't care whether or not you're basically, like, down on the ground with them. They will literally mutate into their giant mutated form if you are close enough. In fact, most everything in this game will basically turn on you if you get too close. So, a couple of giant spiders pretty much emerged, and they made their way towards me. Fortunately, the town's iron golem was down there and decided to take it upon himself to beat up that giant spider on my behalf. And as for where this iron ingot came from, well, you basically know. A horde of about 20 zombies spawned in, and they started coming towards me as well, and the iron golem basically picked them off one by one. He managed to beat that horde, but it seems that a few more zombies eventually came in and eventually overwhelmed him, so, well, fortunately, I managed to recover his iron because it's gonna do very good things for me thanks to his noble sacrifice. So, let's see. Because now, I finally have a means of being able to defend myself from most of the bullshit that happens in this data pack. The only problem is, there's so much bullshit that's going to be flying at me that these things are just going to whittle themselves down very quickly. Either way, there's not really much that I can do until nightfall. Another thing that I discovered is that there was actually a third villager out there. You see, basically those dirt blocks out there. Yep. When I was basically wandering the village, trying to basically see if there was a bed that I had missed, or figuring out how to get the bed out of that house without freeing those monsters in there, well, as it turns out, there was another zombie villager who had become a farmer and was now pretty much free. He was still free to terrorize the entire neighborhood because I, for the life of me, could not find where he was hiding. Seriously, that's the only bed in this village. Where the hell did he go? I've also got the boat down there. I'm not going to get in the boat. I usually like boats. Boats are like one of my favorite forms of travel in this game. But they are quite hazardous in this data pack. The reason that I've got the boat out is because I saw that this village definitely had 2 jellies, and I was trying to catch them. Unfortunately, doesn't look like the jellies are still in the area. They must have despawned by now. There's chicken. Because that's really the thing. Unless I can get my hand on a bow and a whole bunch of arrows, I'm going to have to figure out different ways to kill everything to kill all these animals. Basically, like when it comes to cattle and pigs, and especially skeletons, I can sick dogs on them. When it comes to small things like chicken, I can basically let the cats deal with them. But I don't know, do cats do that if they're tamed? Yep, here's another zombie horde. The worst part about it is that these guys literally won't be going anywhere. Unless they basically can despawn, which I doubt since they're now locked onto me, they won't burn in the sunlight. That's literally like the most devious thing that McMakistein did. Literally making these guys immune to sunlight. Because that ultimately means that I have no choice but to try and deal with them myself. What? Okay, you guys saw that. You saw Jelly. She was there, but she immediately despawned. Matzengetnia babaliti wabast. I think that I ought to make a run for it. At this point, I've basically, like, gotten a whole bunch of stuff, and I should really get back to my base over by, well, my spawn area. Right? Here's base. And here's what happens when you hit sugarcane. Jesus, it's rock! I didn't know that it would literally work on cobblestone that literally was... Oh! Yep, that's a thing. Sharks can apparently grow legs and come out on land. The only saving grace is that sharks, well, they're actually fast. When you get the walking sharks with the legs, they are pretty fast, but if you can actually trick them into going back into the water, it slows them down, because their physics change from being a water animal into being a land animal. And, well, they can't handle shit like that. Going back down into my shelter. Okay, gang. I've got the makings of a plan, and it's probably not a good plan. You see, like I said, the only way that I'm going to survive in this world is I need a bow and I need arrows. Those two pieces of strings that I got, I'm planning on keeping those for fishing, because basically I'm pretty sure that McMakistein hasn't done anything for fishing, so I need to get a bow through the other means by taking it off skeletons. Now, the best way that I'm going to be able to do that is by finding a skeleton dungeon and a skeleton grinder. So I looked on the seed map generator and found that there are quite a few skeleton dungeon spawners around here. The closest one that I think is at 139 and all the way down at -7. Now that's partially underwater, so I'm going to have to be very careful while digging out there. So let's get to it. So I started expanding my tunnel all the way out to X139. Then I turned north and began digging a staircase down towards Y-7. The digging was largely uneventful and was almost entirely in the dark. I did come across some more copper and iron deposits, from which I carefully spawned the baby iron golems to harvest their bodies for raw iron. I ran low on food supplies, so I returned to the surface. I chopped down my trees, getting nearly taken out by a skeleton and a nearby sheep. After I replanted my tree farm, I decided to then harvest up some meat by killing sheep and cows. Watch how quickly a cow's milk bullets drain my shield. Once I had my supplies, I took the remaining leather I had to complete my leather armor set. Using some coal that I found, I decided to take some of the iron to make myself a sword and shield. Keep track of how often I use this new shield compared to the old one. When I finally returned to the staircase, I realized I had a problem. My staircase was going directly to the coordinates of the dungeon spawner, which meant that I would have dropped right in the middle of the dungeon and a rather trigger-happy skeleton horde. I decided to turn left and dig the staircase down and then tunnel toward the dungeon in order to create a safe area while I planned to disable the spawning. I had dug to many dungeons before in my time that were almost entirely locked in from all but one side, so I expected this one to be no different. As you will see, I was wrong. I knew that I was close when I finally hit Deep Slate, and here's where everything went wrong. Okay guys, I've managed to dig all the way down to the appropriate levels, but I basically took a bit of a detour so that I could basically start approaching the so I could basically kind of approach the potential dungeon from a different angle. I don't want to basically just dig straight right to it, because then it'll literally be me digging right into a friggin' skeleton dungeon. So basically, now that I'm here, I'm going to put a torch there. A lot of tuff here. This is evidence that there's a... No, I don't think so. Ooh, lapis. I'll make a mental note of that. Okay, yep, there's definitely something there. If I had been smart enough to seal up my tunnel right then and there, bad things wouldn't have happened. But we do not live in an ideal world, and I am not a genius. Oh, shit! I didn't realize that the arrows were that potent. Why is it that things can't just die in one hit? Starting to think I might have made a really big mistake doing this. At this point, they're literally going to tear everything apart down there. What followed was a montage of attempts to reach my grave and reclaim my foothold in the cave, met immediately by swift, overwhelming death. The worst part is the fact the skeleton's new arrow buff can break through blocks. Easily my least favorite thing about not just this datapack, but Minecraft in general. Needless to say, the destruction cut off my escape route, destroying my staircase back up. It seemed like every time I inched further and further in, the digger the hole I dug myself into. I decided that I couldn't do this with fists alone, so I made myself an iron axe, hoping to crit the skeletons to death. Fortunately, the axe seemed to work, at least on the skeletons I had weakened before, but it seemed like no matter how many I killed, another would come to replace them. I was okay with death, so long as I didn't lose the axe. Unfortunately, though I could recover quickly, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that my staircase to the earth was now becoming quite a sizable cave, allowing for another of McMakistein's machinations to come my way. It was blink and you'll miss it, but this is what becomes of bats in this datapack. They transform into vampires who attack you. They don't do damage, but what they do is infect you with bloodlust. If you can't slake this lust by killing something within 60 seconds, you'll die. Not that I was doing any worse. Desperation set in as I now tried to form a barrier between myself and the undead. I had to resort to breaking deep slate with my bare hands. Only obsidian could have possibly been worse. Fortunately, the little alcove I made for myself proved the perfect platform for nailing critical hits on a skeleton. The bloodthirst was satiated and I was killing skeletons. I was aggressing back into enemy territory. Then I made another mistake that almost cost me dearly. Knowing that I had to get to my closest grave to replenish supplies, I decided the best course would be to dig down and try to take another critical point, like my current alcove. I luckily managed to hit a few layers of tuff that I could easily break through as I made my way down. My first grave was just beyond the wall, and the skeletons were none the wiser to me. As you can see here, the beginnings of a plan were taking shape. From this height, I could easily dig a tunnel over the dungeon, and with enough speed, I could use gravel to seal all the skeletons on the outside and disable the spawner from within. The problem is, I needed a pickaxe first. From this angle, you can get a better shot of a vampire infecting me. Breaking through the wall, I thought I was in trouble. Instead, thanks to the skeleton's pathfinding, I managed to make myself a suitable kill window, and the dummies just kept lining up for it. One block of tuff lay between me and my equipment. Unfortunately, like an idiot, I chose the wrong block. Correcting my mistake, I tried to seal up the area as best I could, if only to keep the new skeletons out of line of sight with me. It was time to make my move. I succeeded in recovering my grave. The euphoria didn't last long, as I was reminded that it was merely the first of many graves to recover, and I was still without a pickaxe. Feeling emboldened, I broke the deep slate and made a break for it, going for my 2 remaining graves and trying to seal off the tunnel in one fell swoop. In that instant, I could have lost all the ground that I'd covered, but speed was on my side and I sealed them off, getting back to my gravestones. I was now fully equipped again. My first order of business was to return to the height above the dungeon and begin tunneling my way from there. I had gotten right above the opening of the dungeon, and like an idiot, I thought my plan was going to work. The particles falling from the ceiling told a different story. A huge chunk of the dungeon's roof was made of gravel. One wrong move, and it would collapse, dropping me into the stinger's nest. I tried my plan the best I could, narrowing the opening into the cave using gravel. I thought that maybe I could chance it. I chose poorly. I had my hopes that by collapsing the gravel I could block the skeletons out and suffocate those caught underneath it. I forgot that their arrows were now block-destroying missiles. In desperation, I tried the one thing I had left, disabling the spawner with torches before the inevitable. All that hard work was undone so cruelly that I was genuinely angry. I walked away from the game long enough to cool off and for the skeletons to despawn from the area. So long as the spawner had torches around it, none would be coming back. The area that I had returned to was unrecognizable. It looked more like a war-torn battlefield. Deep slate and other debris from the skeleton's freshly formed tunnels littered the area. But at least I had gotten the spawner. And in the end, that's all that mattered. Now came the tedious part of cleaning all this up and making something useful from it. Right, so I finally managed to disable this damn thing, and I finally managed to pretty much take over this entire area, but I fucking hate the fact that those friggin' skeletons' arrows are so powerful that this place is basically ruined. Like, I have no idea if I can even actually make the spawner, but the mob farm now, because there's literally so much damage that I've got to fill in. Whatever. Let's check out what's in this chest. What the... You son of a bitch. What the fuck? I literally made one of these chests and that... Maybe it has to be a double chest. Wait, where's the rest of it? Are you friggin' telling me that the most valuable things that dropped... Wait, maybe I picked them up. Where's my grave? Ah. Yep, I picked them up. And considering that I'm still getting creepers down here... Anyways, there's nothing much more that I can do except try and turn this into some kind of rudimentary mob spawner. So, let's get to it. So, Dumbzilla again for one last-minute mistake. As you can see, the skeleton farm is ready, and it works fairly well. I had been planning to use the replay mod to record a third-person time-lapse montage for this. Unfortunately, as you see from this moment here, despite clicking the box to enable recording on single player, I once again forgot that you still have to click record inside the game world itself. So all of that footage is lost. Well, gang, it took me a long time, but I finally managed to get a skeleton farm made. It's basically a very simple one. It's not going to basically be elaborate with carrying the skeletons up and dropping them a great distance, but honestly, it does get a lot of skeletons very quickly. And basically, like, if I just let this run for a little bit, they actually do start entity cramming, so I have nearly gotten myself a full bow, and I've gotten more than a full stack of arrows. So, what am I going to do to celebrate? Well, for the one thing, I'm going to get myself out of this damn hole. I'm going to get myself back up to the surface. It's time for us to go kill some sheep. As much as I hate it, I am going to need to bring this up. So... Mental note, build stairs. I've got you now. Oh, that's so satisfying. Dropping a sheep in one arrow. I finally got wool. I finally got wool. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, based on how impossible it has been to friggin' even approach these things, yeah, I now legitimately feel unstoppable. 'Cause having this skeleton farm, having access to pretty much what amounts to unlimited arrows, and even unlimited bone meal, well... Let's just say that basically it is a game changer. I still cannot believe that they do that. Go on. Go on, Wooly. Put your coat back on. I dare you. Are you feeling lucky, punk? I'm eating your friends. You see this? I bet it wasn't even a friend. I bet it was a family member. Yeah, I bet. Does it make you angry? Huh, Baba? He was pissing me off. Anyway, guys, I basically have accomplished a whole lot in this one video, and, well... I basically managed to get some major goals in. I found a village, I got my campfires, I've set my foothold in this world, and I managed to build a skeleton grinder and gotten access to bows and arrows, as well as an unlimited supply of bone meal, and it only took 12 days. We might be in trouble.